most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heine, physical
Together
therapist.
we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
I'm strong like bull, Brad.
There you go.
So-
Strong like bull.
Today we're going to talk about one movement for instant sciatica pain relief.
And we're going to tell you the real story behind this.
Right. There's one movement, but we got to determine what it is.
Right.
All right. By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, do we know what we're giving away? We don't know what we're giving away because this is a future video.
Right. But we're going to give something away.
We'll be giving something away. Just go to bobandbrad.com, go to the giveaway section, and it will be revealed to you.
There you
and
go.
We give away some nice stuff.
Beds.
Beds,
yes.
and mattresses, foot massagers,
yes.
foam rollers.
They'll
yeah.
see. You can go to Facebook too.
Yeah, bobandbrad.com. Or Bob and Brad at Facebook. It's usually pinned to the top of the page.
All right. One movement. So this is a very good question that we can instantly remove sciatica or the leg pain, which Bob and I have been working in the clinic for well over 55 years between the two of us, and we both have experienced instant relief of sciatica.
Yep.
With a movement, but it's not that simple, unfortunately. But we're going to help you out to get through it. So if you can do it in one movement, this is a good way to figure it out.
Let's tell them, Brad, what we're looking for with that one movement too, by the way.
Right.
So let's say you have pain going all the way down the leg. Show them with your stripe, Brad.
Yeah. Let's say the stripe is the pain going down. And oftentimes this is the pattern sciatica will take down to the ankles, sometimes into the toes. But we want to eliminate the pain and get it to come up. I got my work socks on. These are not my workout socks, but I got a time limitation.
This
I
is
can't.
bad.
So we come up and that pain.
So you want to see
up.
the pain, going out of the calf here, and maybe it might go into here first, and then eventually you want it to go out of here, and into the buttock, and then eventually you want it out of the buttock, and you'll feel it maybe even a little more intense in the back, but it's out of the leg. That's the first thing you want, the symptoms out of the leg.
So first of all, the source of your sciatica oftentimes, probably the majority of the time, is from a disc problem in the low back. So we're going to look at that movement, that one movement of the low back. Now, if you find that sitting makes your sciatica worse, bending over makes your sciatica worse and your pain worse, probably that movement is going to be extension, lumbar extension. That means going backwards like this. In other words, like this.
Sure. Should I go ahead and show that one right away, Brad?
Sure, you bet.
And then we'll jump into the next movement that possibly
So
could
this
be.
movement, if moving forward, flexion movement makes it worse, we're going to extend, but not standing up. We're going to have you lay down on the on a carpeted floor. Works well. If you can't get down to the floor safely, you can use a firm bed.
So you're going to start off just flat like this, and basically you're going to start into extension, but generally you may only want to do small arcs to start off with. Hands below the shoulders, and I'm going to go ahead and, as you can see here, I'm keeping the pelvis on the ground.
Imagine someone putting their foot right there and holding it down. As a matter of fact, with some patients, I won't put my foot on them, but they'll be on the table and I will gently support their pelvis so they understand the importance of maintaining that.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to see is this. You don't want the pelvis to come off the ground.
Right.
That means your back is really tight, which means you probably do need this exercise. And so eventually it may take you a while to work your way up to this point where you can get more and more arch. And eventually, the ideal thing is if you can get up to this high.
Right.
And, that's where often the magic happens. And that's where the pain really starts to dissipate. And again, what you're looking for, you can go ahead and do a good, 10 repetitions if you're able to do so. And you can do these every hour. It's not something we want you to do just once a day. We want you to do it maybe 5 times a day at least. You can do it more, at least 10 repetitions. You can do even more repetitions too if you want. But what you're going to want to see is you're going to want to see success. You're going to want to see that the pain is feeling better in the leg.
Right. Otherwise, if it's getting worse, you may need to go to the next movement. You may not have a disc problem. You may have something known as stenosis. which I'm very familiar with because I do have stenosis.
Right.
And I cannot do that. Everything gets worse when I do that exercise. So the movement, if the pain down the leg gets worse, typically with walking, with standing, and bending backwards, like if you got to wash windows and it's like, oh, my back and leg is getting worse. You wanna show
You want
this
me to
one,
do it?
Bob?
Sure. So with this one, you're going to be in the opposite direction. You're going to be working on flexion. So I generally like to start with just one leg, Brad. So like, let's say the pain's going down this leg.
Sure.
I like to start with just this one and give it a little stretch,
Yep.
and then eventually you're going to work up to you bring up the one leg and then bring up the other leg
Yep.
to follow, and you can do like pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off, just giving it a little stretch. And you can do 10 repetitions with this too. And it's the same thing. You can do this every hour if you
Right.
want for
Now,
if you get a relief.
oftentimes, people with stenosis, and when they're standing and their pain is going down the leg, when you sit down, that actually is the movement. That's bending the back like this is. It's hard to understand this if you're not a therapist or if you looked at the body mechanics. But oftentimes, those people, including me, when I sit down, within seconds, my leg is starting to feel better.
Yeah, it shuts down, the pain shuts down. And it's the same why we call it shopping cart syndrome. When you push a shopping cart, you lean forward,
Right.
you're taking stress off the back by opening up those little holes where the nerves are coming
Yep,
out to
those
the
foramen,
foramen.
which is what this is doing. So the movement what we're looking for a stenosis is flexion or bending forward or pulling the knees to the chest or sitting down is all the same movement as far as your low back is concerned.
So we'll show you one third possibility too. And now this one could actually work with either one. It could
Sure.
work with spinal
Yep.
stenosis. It could also work with a herniated disc.
So this is if the first two movements aren't working, they say those silly Bob and Brad, there's nothing's working. This can be one of those more difficult back and sciatica
All
problems.
right, let's assume again the pain is on the right side here,
Okay.
Brad. What you're going to try first is you're going to put your feet together like this. And like you say, it's like a windshield wiper.
Yep.
But I'm going to actually just work towards the side of pain,
Right.
right?
Well, it was the only thing
Yes.
I do differently. It's a little technical, and I don't know.
Oh, you're going to grow like this?
Nope. We'll go back to the start position. I'll have my patients lift their butt up and shift
Oh,
this way
a
about
little
an
bit.
inch or
Okay,
two,
sure.
and it just shifts the low back and that lumbar spine. And then we do the rotation, and then we're looking at rotation as opposed to flexion or extension. And when you do this, when you go over there, you're going to immediately start to feel that leg get better. If it's getting worse, it's not the right movement.
Yeah. And you're going to want to keep this shoulder down on,
Yeah,
both shoulders really
good
down
point.
on the floor.
Right,
And you can, a little variation of this would be to go like this, but
right.
it's going to be better generally to use both like this.
Yeah.
And you can let it even sit there
Yep.
and stretch a little bit.
As long
Uh,
as that leg, and I've
oh,
had people do this, and it's like, oh, my leg continues, feels better. It's like water flowing
yeah.
up into their buttock and back.
And the symptoms sometimes it's to me sometimes, Brad, I look for like they have numbness and tingling down the
Yep,
leg. If that starts to get better too, the pain really doesn't, but the numbness and tingling gets
yep.
better.
It's
That's
all this.
still a good sign.
It is
That's a good sign that you're working
right,
in the right direction here.
right.
So
Now, again, that one movement for instant sciatic pain relief is there and available, but not in everyone. And you really need to approach it. It's just not a cookie cutter thing. Like there it is.
right.
Like you might
You
think.
got to figure out what the one movement is,
Right.
and then you got to work on it on a regular
Regular
basis.
basis. There you
So
go. So good luck with all your sciatic problems. We're hoping that we're helping you out, but we're still working on that one problem, Bob.
yeah, what is that again?
Well, we can
What,
fix just about anything.
except for a broken
There
heart.
you go. But we're going to continue to work on that. We've been doing it for 8 years now, 7 years
It's
maybe.
getting a little discouraging.
Yeah, but we're not going to stop.
All right.